Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to give about another 30 seconds for other people to join us.
Right now, we have 45 people join this meeting.
Okay, once again, good morning. Please mute your computers and please mute your cell phones. Okay, so we're going to be beginning. Please mute your lines and set your cell phones to silent. For the action bar. Okay. Could someone please mute the room for me? For action bar, scroll mouse to the center.
Geraldo, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Michael. Guess that works better. Okay, welcome everyone. This is the COVID-19 eligible activities roundtable discussion, Trench 1 activities only. Please mute your line and set your cell phones to silent. For action bar, scroll mouse to center and click the appropriate buttons. Please use the raise your hand option. Please wait to be recognized by the host. Please unmute yourself once recognized. For questions, open the show chat and submit questions in the chat box. You can also submit your questions via email at info.cdbg@ct.gov. And this session is being recorded. So this is going to be, we're going to be discussing the CARES Act of 2020. SC CDBG CV roundtable discussion on eligible activities. And today is Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, and we'll be online from 11 to 11:45. One of the things I was asked to bring to your attention is a training on responding to the housing challenges posed by the pandemic, session 1. The Responding to COVID-19 webinar series presents COVID-19 pandemic resources for small units of general local government. Specifically, the webinars provide digestible information on how small UGLGs may access public funding, data, and other resources that are made available due to the pandemic. The webinar series will consist of a total of 6 sessions spread across 3 topic areas: housing, health, and economic development. Each topic area will consist of 2 webinar sessions. Currently, there are 3 scheduled dates for session 1, July 13th, the 20th, and the 28th, all from 2 to 3:30. I've actually provided a link at the bottom of this slide. This will be made available to you as well. So you can click on that if you go ahead and sign yourself up for the training. And I want to start off the training by having a couple of case studies. These are questions that people have asked us already, and we wanted to put those out there so you can see the types of questions that people have had already. I have 4 questions, and I will go ahead and read the scenario. Case study 1. The town is currently negotiating a deal to lease with an option to buy the site of a former bank branch to the town hall to be used as a government drive-through of sorts, allowing residents to pay taxes, get dog licenses, or apply for permits while adhering to social distancing guidelines as a result of COVID-19. We could utilize the CDBG funding to assist the town in retrofitting the building to support our mission. One of the eligible activities in your quick guide is providing equipment, supplies, and materials necessary to carry out a public service. This would obviously be a great public service to our residents to make it easier to get approvals and items from town without requiring someone to leave their vehicle. Would this be considered an eligible activity to support the COVID-19 response? I'm going to defer to the Director of Housing and Community Development, Miguel Rivera. Miguel?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I hope you can hear me well. This was an interesting conversation with a municipality. It was a creative, out-of-the-box idea that hit one or two of the what we reference as PPR, prepare, prevent, respond to COVID-19. The key factor in why this, as presented, was to stimulate conversation and to show that it would not be eligible, because the way that we would be looking at this is that, as the narrative that was provided, the unit of local government was looking to expand and continue to provide services that are strictly for the unit of local government and not public service activities. Although there was a piece that talked about dispersing PPE equipment to the community, the majority of the activity was for the purposes of local government.
Okay. Any other comments from staff, or any follow-up questions from anyone who's participating? Dominic, any questions in the chat regarding?
No questions from the chat just yet.
Thank you. Lilia, any comments on the email?
Sir.
Okay, that being said, we'll continue on to case study number 2. Case study 2, Eastern Connecticut had many households impacted by the loss of employment, specifically in the casino industry. Many other towns don't have the capacity to take a project. Could we collaborate with other small cities to support these households? Miguel.
So, as we are all aware, the COVID-19 has taken has made a huge impact in regards to the restaurant and entertainment industries. And we know that in the eastern part of Connecticut, with 2 casinos, there is a large amount of families and individual households who unfortunately had lost their job. The state, in partnership with HUD, are making rental assistance funding available to communities. In this particular case, the community was wondering if they could provide what we're labeling as a temporary economic assistance, which would allow for up to 3 months of rental or mortgage assistance to households impacted because of the loss of job with COVID, and they are arrears. This would be a complement to the activities with the Emergency Solutions Grant through the Department of Housing and its nonprofit partners, along with other activities that are being coordinated through the state. It could not necessarily piggyback, but it could make funds available to another niche of income eligible households, up to 80% of the area median income. Collaborations or regional applications are encouraged because we do understand our small city partners don't necessarily always have the capacity to carry out a project. We've seen some really great and successful accomplishments in coordinations with the Coordinated Access Networks, the CANs, along with United Ways and other nonprofit partners.
Okay, thank you, Miguel.
You're welcome.
Any questions on Dominic or Lilia?
Nothing here, Jerry.
Nothing coming from chat just yet.
Okay, and
So far, we have a very quiet group.
okay.
We definitely would like to encourage you at any time. I mean, these are just case studies that we hope to try to stimulate conversation. This is a conversation. This is not an execution or a trial. We're all in this together. We're all learning this as we're moving forward together. As you can see, HUD just now finally is providing some guidance for us as well. So we want to make sure that everyone can try to have a successful activity, and that we can try to find collaborations and a common ground as best as possible.
Okay, thank you. Again, if there are no further questions, we'll continue on to case study number 3. Number 3, our municipality has more than 51% of our students receiving free or reduced lunches. Can we expand our food program through the summer to provide for these students? Miguel?
Well, this is an interesting conversation. One is the documentation of the 51%. So the local Department of Education would have to provide those numbers and that information to the municipality and release them so that we can indeed verify the more than 51% as an area benefit. From there, the expansion of a meal program, many of us are more familiar with Meals on Wheels, is an excellent opportunity to prevent, prepare, and or respond to COVID. The shortage of food for school-aged children is a national crisis, and the ability for school departments to continue in collaboration working with nonprofit or their municipal services and providing meals once a day or twice a day in some cases is an excellent reflection of how we can respond to COVID. At the same time, providing these foods for these at-need families. So that is definitely a activity that is eligible to look at in expanding food services. Again, this one could also be potentially partnered with a nonprofit to provide the services, or the school municipality staff. It would be interesting to see how we move forward with that application, with that applicant.
Okay, thank you, Miguel. This time I'd like to ask if there are any questions, Dominic or Lilia?
None so far.
Okay,
Still nothing.
all right.
Don't be shy, people. It's okay.
There's something in the chat. I'm not sure what that's a question.
Let's
Yes,
take a look.
Jerry.
Yep.
The question from Jody Tresman. The city of Bristol is doing drive-up free breakfast and lunch every day. There is also produce programs available. USDA has programs for food. That's just an information, not a question.
Oh, well, that's exciting to hear. Jody Tressman, who is one of our project managers in our development and has a background working within congressional government services. That's a great and excellent resource. If you haven't had an opportunity to partner with USDA, that might be something to inquire about. Thank you so much, Jody. You get a thumbs up.
Any other comments? Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the next question. So case study number 4, and the last one we have. Our school department has provided laptops and Chromebooks for our students for remote learning. Are we able to pay for the monthly internet fee for families? Miguel.
This is an interesting one. If we go back to the basics of the question of, does it prepare, does it prevent, and does it respond to COVID? The simple answer would be yes. But as we further look into federal regulations, unfortunately, the monthly service fee is not an eligible activity. Now, vice versa, we could explore with the municipality and inquire with them, would you like to pay for some infrastructure improvements, for example, into a community park, expand into maybe a low moderate income community to install Wi-Fi services. The infrastructure is eligible for CDBG to pay for, but unfortunately the monthly internet fee is not. But again, it gives us the opportunity to have the conversation at a larger level. Some municipalities are looking, as I mentioned, providing Wi-Fi or hotspots, Wi-Fi spots or hotspots as they're called, in community areas that are outdoors, such as a community park, so that they are able to provide some shared learning opportunities. Those costs could be eligible. Working in improving hotspots within the school, the library, or the school building, again, could be potentially, as well as providing Wi-Fi in a public housing facility that might have a large family population.
Okay, thank you, Miguel.
We have a question from Marcia Marin. The question, we are looking, which is pretty much what we just talked about. We are looking to purchase laptops and Chromebooks for our students in case we have to go back to distance learning. Would the cost of these be eligible?
At this time, we are not prioritizing activities that are related to education. That's something that we are trying to coordinate with the state and our peers in allowing for educational funds to be able to provide for that. The thing to keep in mind as well is we also have to keep the national objectives in mind with regards to the programming. So the municipality that had more than 51% of the students documented at no cost or low cost lunches, and if there was a community that had 35% documenting that with their students, we could potentially down the road, as things progress, be able to proportionally provide assistance. But again, we're pushing that people contact the state's Department of Education for resources available through them as well from the CARES Act. Okay. I think we had a hands up.
I do have a question. Oh, do you have a hands up first?
No, I thought I saw one, but I'm mistaken.
Okay. Question coming in from Peter Tester. Can towns be reimbursed for laptops that have been purchased for students that meet low, moderate income?
Well, let's start with the portion of the conversation on reimbursement. For the CDBG COVID Round 1 funds, costs that were incurred prior to, I believe, March 13th would not be eligible. And costs incurred prior to an environmental review being completed would not be eligible. But as we move forward, again, that goes back to the conversation of speaking with the Department of Education and finding those resources first.
Okay. Are there any other questions at this time, Dominic or Lilia?
There are some on chat.
Yep, questions are coming in.
Okay, fantastic.
Another question from John. How do we prove 51% for Wi-Fi locations in parks and centers?
Well, that would be looking at the entirety of the community. But also, if you're focused on providing the Wi-Fi with a predominance use of learning hubs, that would be utilized with the school department's records, and you can utilize the school lunch program with regards to that. I hope that helps.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, lots are coming in now. It's
Oh,
getting hot here.
All right.
So Charlene from Shelton, our city is interested in creating a rental assistance program. Would that only qualify for residents who are low mod applicants? We could help. How much and for how long?
Well, thank you for your question. The rental assistance program, as we're deeming it as a temporary economic assistance, would be eligible for households up to 80% of the area median income. Please keep in mind, this is part of the toolbox with rental assistance. We have programs that are helping households at 30% or less, 50% or less, and up to 80% with the CDBG. So this is a way for us to kind of spread the resources that we're receiving that are very limited. The second part of the question was, I can't really see it. Could you read it again?
Sure. Would that only qualify for residents who are low mod income, or would others be allowed to apply? If so, how would we estimate how many applicants we could help, and how much and for how long?
Okay. Let me answer with regards to how much and for how long. The regulations on a temporary economic assistance programs is for a 3-month period of time. What I would do is I would suggest looking at your average, what you believe your average mortgage or average rental payments are in your community, basing it off that. And in regards to how many people you would want to assist, that's a decision that you can, at this point, move forward with. We are not limiting it to 1,000 or 500, but we want to have conversations with you as to how you would also leverage other resources from other organizations in your community. Again, this is just an add-on to the state's efforts in regards to rental assistance programs.
Thank you, Miguel. Next question. Has any additional conversation happened with HUD to include urgent need as an acceptable national objective?
There has not been any formal conversations. But again, we're looking at this as a two-prong. We're looking at this as how does it prepare, prevent, or respond to COVID, and how does it meet the CDBG national objectives? In particular, how does it address the needs of low to moderate income households? But there will be more, as you see, as we announced, there will be more direct HUD trainings and webinars and roundtables coming up that will assist us in clarifying this.
Lily, at this time, have you received any questions through email?
But I do have some more.
Yep. Just wanted to give Lily a shot there. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. A little edge in there.
None for me. None there.
I'm sorry, Lilia, go ahead.
None there. None here.
Okay. Would sneeze shields and other dividers between employees and town hall be eligible?
Well, in the general definition of PPE equipment, that I would say yes, because we're talking about you know, the larger scope of PPE equipments. We'd want to make sure that it's just not limited to one aspect. We'd want to make sure that people would have appropriate masks. Once we have the reopening and all of our colleagues back, we have inspectors who are going out, and they should probably have equipment that's more specific to their needs than that of a sneeze shield.
Thank you, Miguel. Laura Francis asks, can this pool of money be used for typical revolving loan programs for home improvements?
The COVID funding is not our typical CDBG allocation. So if the home improvement program would have to be focused on, again, the preventing, preparing, or responding to COVID. So if there was a situation potentially where you had a household who needed to shelter in place, and to do that, they needed to have an upgrade to their HVAC system, that is a possibility.
Next question, Dominic.
Sorry about that.
Oh, the other thing I should clarify further with regards to the PPE equipment with regards to municipal employees is that I did mention inspectors, but I should also mention first responders. It should not be limited to town hall employees. When you're looking at the purchase of PPE equipment, it should be your first responders as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. You mentioned that HUD is now providing guidance. Where can we locate this guidance?
Well, HUD is posting all information on the HUD Exchange, specifically under CDBG COVID. But at the beginning of this presentation, we are sharing a hyperlink and some upcoming webinars hosted by HUD, specifically with regards to COVID. And if you don't currently subscribe to the HUD Exchange emails, I greatly encourage you to go forward and register. It's in the HUD Exchange mailing list, and that just came out yesterday with regards to the webinars is Responding to COVID-19, a webinar series for local governments serving small communities. And the first 3 webinars are for July 13th, July 20th, and July 28th. You can register. The registration is open now. And the workshops would be from 2 to 3:30 p.m. They're also typically recorded, so if you're not able to attend, you can watch it at your pleasure, over some coffee, over a drink. You can host a party at the office, no more than 6 people. Please practice social distancing.
We have a question from Mary. If you unmute yourself, you can actually ask the question in person. We'd like to hear voices, other voices other than ours. So Mary, if you'd like to ask the question directly, instead of me reading it, that would be great. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, no Mary, okay. Will DOH consider economic development proposals meeting low mod income jobs national objective? Question.
That's a great question. I'm pulling up a resource at the same time. Just let me see if I can find it. Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to find the resource. So we are the Department of Housing. So we are referring many economic development requests over to our partners at DECD to utilize FEMA, small business, or state resources. There are communities who have, however, created programmatic income from prior years' funding, and we would encourage them to potentially partner with a provider, or they themselves, if they have the capacity, to convert that programmatic income into a local economic assistance program. Again, working with a nonprofit that can help and leverage resources. We are hoping to coordinate with the Women's Business Development Council, who has also received some funding through the CARES Act in Connecticut and through the state with regards to their programs and services that can be made available in partnership with program income and the local municipalities. Please keep an eye out. We're hoping to have a webinar where there will be a presentation by the Women's Business Development Council, and I hope that would be sometime either the third week in July, the latest at this point.
We have another economic development question, this time from Jim Bolano. Jim, would you like to ask the question directly to Miguel, or would you like me to read it? Okay. Do you have any case studies or, oh, okay. Do you have any case studies or examples of how the funds can be used for economic development?
Well, in regards to economic development, I would refer everyone to the quick guide to CDBG eligible activities. Geraldo, are you able to pull that up and share on your monitor?
Let me see if I can grab that. You want to continue on to the next question while I look that up?
That would be wonderful if people don't mind holding for a moment.
There aren't any right now, but I probably can think of.
There is one municipality that is not utilizing their program income at this time, but utilizing their own local resources and that of the FEMA program. And they are under the assistance. They are under the assistance to businesses, including special economic development assistance. And what they are doing is they are providing grants and loans for assistance with back rent for businesses to keep them in place, help them stay in place. They are also providing them PPE equipment for them to be able to modify their services to be walk up or actually just to keep their employees safe, but also to explore how to provide their restaurant services in another way, be it from dine-in to takeout, curbside pickup.
Miguel, I have it up on the screen.
Oh, thank you very much. And if you can just scroll down there.
Which?
Well, if you can scroll up, back up. You've gone a little too far. Yeah. That right there are some samples with regards to the economic development. Again, there will be more focus on economic development with the WBDC roundtable presentation that will be coming up in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Does DOH have a sample public hearing notice that can be used when advertising for revised citizen participation plan?
We have not, I don't think we have provided or developed a draft sample document at this point in time.
Just ours.
But just, we do have the state. Oh, Michael Santoro would like to take this question.
Yes, Jim, I can send you what we used to revise our citizen participation plan. You can easily modify it to meet your local needs. It satisfies HUD's minimum requirements relative to citizen participation. I will call that sample up. I will post it in the chat as soon as I have it up.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
If people do not know, Michael Santoro is our director of OPRA. I never remember what it always stands for, but he is our housing and policies director, as well as our support, really our biggest cheerleader and supporter, and coach, I would say. He gives us a swift kick every now and then.
Okay. Are there any other questions at this time? Lilia, any questions from the emails?
No.
Okay. Miguel?
Nope, go ahead, please, Jerry.
Okay. Well, at this, I'm just going to give another minute or so for if people come up with questions. Please feel free to either chime in, raise your hand, and you can speak, or you can type it into the chat room. Okay. So, Miguel, if you want to have some closing remarks, it looks like there are no questions at this time.
Well, again, I just want to say thank you. I want to make sure that everyone stays safe and well, along with your colleagues, your partners, your families and friends. It's important that we all continue to have patience with each other in these coming days. As we continue to read in the news, COVID is not something that we can put, unfortunately, behind us at this point yet. I know it's been a big learning curve, as many of us with children are now homeschooling, and we now realize that teachers definitely are not paid sufficiently enough. But I just want to thank everyone. We are having this session again tomorrow at the same time at 11 a.m. for us to have conversation in regards to COVID-19 and eligible activities. It is a sounding board for you to be able to share ideas, to talk through, and if we're not able to help answer a question at the moment, we will work with you after we are offline to get an answer. It may not, unfortunately, at times be the answer that we would like to get, but it will be an answer, and it will be and we will provide you the documentation to that response.
Okay. So at this time, if there are no further questions, just a reminder, tomorrow we will have the same session again from 11 to 11:45. And if you have questions and you want to join us again, you can feel free to do that at that time. We'll go over the first 4 questions like I did today, and then we'll open it up to any questions after.
Mike Santoro again. My apologies, Jim. If you could put your email in the chat box. I can't get my hands on the notice right this second for some reason. I will email you that draft notice.
Okay.
Michael, that was Peter Testa looking for the citizen participation plan public hearing example.
Oh, my apologies. Peter, if you could give us your email address, thank you. Thank you, Paula.
Yep.
Okay.
I can forward Peter's information already.
All right. So if there are no further questions, is there? I think we have another question, or is that just an email?
No,
yeah,
no, he's just sending his email.
Okay. Well, then I want to thank everybody for joining us and taking the time. Again, if you have any further questions, you can reach us at DOH, or you can join the conversation again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
The city of Sheldon,
she wants a copy.
Would like a copy. Maybe we can just post it as part of the link. Would be part of the chat, the discussion, and the follow-up.
Okay.
And Lilia, if you could please stop